Ladies and gentlemen, the Boston Celtics just traded Jaylen Brown for Paul George. What? I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say to that. Jaylen Brown is a Philadelphia 76er. And Paul George is a Boston Celtic. And Philly also gave Boston 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. Oh, yo. That's all they could get for that. Wow, that is as good as it got for Jaylen Brown. That is as good as it got for Jaylen Brown. Dude, Boston was trying to trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis. And they end up with Paul George. Wow. Talk about a downgrade in potential trades. They just traded Jaylen Brown for Paul George. Wow. Paul George. That is all they could get anyone to cough up for Jaylen. That's as good as it got. The Boston Celtics, 2 years ago, won the NBA championship. Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP. This past season, there's supposed to be a gap year. No Tatum, no chance. Boston's going to be trash. They'll be a play-in team at best, probably a lottery team. You know who said no to that? Jaylen Brown. He went out there and he had an MVP caliber season. This brother, 29 years old, just had the best season of his career. And the Celtics tried to trade him for Giannis. And then it didn't work. And now they traded him for Paul George, who's 36. Paul George is 36 years old. Whoa. Wow. Dude, there has been rumors saying Paul George, he might go to Atlanta. He might go to Portland, right? And I don't know what either of those teams would give up to get Jaylen Brown. I have no idea. But there's no way that it was going to be less than just Paul George and some picks. I don't even understand this move from Boston's perspective. I don't even get it. I don't understand this whatsoever. It makes no sense. And Paul George is going to make $54 million next season. This guy, who ain't been an all-star in at least a few years, he's injury prone. He's not as good as he once was, but he's about to make $54 million. And then the season after that, he's got a player option for $56 million. And that's who they traded Jaylen Brown in the prime of his career for. Philly fleeced them. Philadelphia just fleeced Boston so hard. This is a fleece. They didn't even get any complimentary bench pieces or role players to add to this team. They traded Jaylen Brown for just Paul George in terms of players. And obviously they got some picks, but are those picks going to mean a whole lot? I don't know, because Philadelphia, I'm finding it hard to imagine that those picks are going to be anything other than late first round picks, those 2 firsts. Because you know who Philly's got now? In addition to Jaylen Brown, they obviously have the 2023 MVP Joel Embiid, right? Who he's on the other side of 30, okay? Joel Embiid's like 32 or something like that. A lot of injury history there. Wow, I just realized, bro, they just traded Jaylen Brown. The Boston Celtics just traded Jaylen Brown to the Sixers, and the Sixers just came back from being down 3-1 in the first round of Boston. Jaylen Brown, the Celtics traded arguably their best player to the team that just beat them after being down 3-1 in the playoffs. Wow. But like I was saying, Joel Embiid, he's on the other side of 30, okay? Probably potentially past his prime. A lot of injury history there. Still, when he plays, he's fantastic. But you know who plays a lot? Tyrese Maxey, who was All-NBA third team this season and an All-Star. And you know who else the Sixers have? VJ Edgecombe, who just had a fantastic rookie season. The Boston Celtics just traded Jaylen Brown to Philly, and now Philadelphia has Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown. That is a fantastic four, yo. That's a fantastic four. What is Boston doing? Why would they do this? No one made them trade Jaylen Brown. They chose to trade Jaylen Brown, and no one made them trade him for just Paul George. What? This is, wow, man. Wow. We could look back at this trade in a few years, maybe even next season, and be like, what a terrible trade. We could look back at this in 6 months and think, what a terrible trade. This straight up makes Philly a title contender. This genuinely makes Philadelphia a title contender just like that. They got Embiid, they got Jaylen Brown, they got Tyrese Maxey, and they got VJ Edgecombe. Who else is on their roster? Did they just sign Ariel Huckporty as well? They've got Adem Bona. Well, they don't have Quentin Grimes anymore. He's a Laker. He's a Laker. I don't care, bro. They have enough talent in Embiid, Maxey, Edgecombe, and now Jaylen Brown, who again just had an MVP caliber season. All NBA second team, arguably had a fantastic case to be All NBA first team. And now they got Jaylen Brown. They got Jaylen Brown. This, wow, I can't believe this. Jaylen Brown is a Philadelphia 76er. Wow.